Gilda came out in 1946 and stars the iconic Rita Hayworth. It is directed by Charles Vidor in his first ever podcast appearance. It may be one of the most famous films of the 40s, but is it as good as its reputation precedes it? We're going to talk about that on the Golden Hour Film Podcast. Hello everybody, welcome back to the Golden Hour Film Podcast. I am Harry Bailey, joined by my co-host, not guest host, Shane Mulvaney. Shane, how are you?
Yeah, pretty good. Obviously, second episode this week, so hopefully you aren't sick of us already. So, check out the last episode as well if you haven't seen it, but I think this is certainly a more famous film noir, I think it's fair to say, than Stranger on the Third Floor. For that reason alone, maybe it's of more interest to people.
Yeah, if you didn't see Tuesdays, I'm going to struggle not to say last week's Tuesday's episode of the podcast, you will know that we covered Stranger on the Third Floor. This one, Gilda, starring Rita Hayworth, that came out in 1946, especially for the time, was such an iconic movie. Rita Hayworth in this film, without getting into our spoiler-free review just yet, is so iconic. Inspired so many things. There's so many pieces of trivia about it. I think it was like the third or the fourth ever atomic bomb that was tested had Rita Hayworth on the side of it and had Gilda written on it because they all thought that she was a bombshell. Humphrey Bogart declined the lead role in this movie. And they asked him, like, did he regret it? And he was like, no, because people, the only thing in that movie people look at is Rita Hayworth, insinuating that, like, no one would even know that he's in the movie. Valid. The introduction for the character of Gilda, played by Rita Hayworth, is one of the, if not the greatest introduction of a femme fatale in cinema history. We'll touch on that scene later on. But this film, especially at the time, was massive. Yeah. Particularly Rita Hayworth. What a star. A cinema icon. Obviously was married to Orson Welles, although they were on a break whilst they were filming this. So the tabloids were all over a potential Glenn Ford Rita Hayworth affair, which I don't think ever happened.
No, it wasn't.
But Rita Hayworth, what a star. Gilda, much bigger movie than Tuesday's episode. That being said, Shane, in a spoiler-free review, is it much better?
Yeah, I think it's better than Stranger on the Third Floor. I enjoyed it more, but it is really like a film in a way that, like I mentioned, that the lead performance in that film was quite insipid and not nearly as kind of charismatic as you would hope, and the guy wasn't really able to sustain being the lead of a kind of maybe just a film. I don't think he was particularly strong as a leading man. This, by comparison, is like, I think you could argue Glenn Ford is the main character. His character is the main character, but obviously
he's certainly the most followed character.
Yeah. But certainly, obviously, the film is called Gilda, so from that point of view, you need an actress who can kind of make Gilda a strong character and an amazing character in her own right. Very much the case with Rita Hayworth. This is her film. She very much commands every frame she's in. Every character is like completely transfixed by her. Some of her musical performances are really impressive. Like she's got great singing voice.
Well, Shane, you fell into my trap with that one.
Is that not?
This is rumoured to be the only film in the history of cinema where Rita Hayworth's actual singing voice was recorded.
Okay.
Lie. Voiceover once again. Rita Hayworth only ever did voiceovers. It's a Mandela effect. People seem to think that this is the one movie where she did sing, which, in fairness, her voiceover is like literally spot on. Perfect. Yeah, you wouldn't know that she's not singing. Yeah. But that is a common misconception with this film. It is not the only film where Rita Hayworth sang because she didn't sing in it.
That's fair enough. Yeah, that's my bad then. But Yeah, like I said, you wouldn't know, but yeah, the character itself, like when you call a film after a character, that character has to deliver the goods, and yeah,
Yeah,
she very much does. Rita Hayworth, yeah, she's fantastic in the film, and by far the best thing about the film.
yeah, I absolutely wholeheartedly agree. She elevates this movie so much. Her performance is fantastic. Her character is, I'm not going to say the only interesting thing in this film, but it's the only thing that has like a real layer of depth to it. I think
Yeah,
it's an overall interesting film. I know we talked about this a lot last year. I think it's very, I don't, like, you're looking at a guy who made one short film and it was shite. I think it's, if you have the money and the actors and everything, it's pretty easy to bash out a film noir and just follow the step by step guide and make it at least like serviceable. This definitely follows a lot of that guide, but it has some of its own sort of flair with some of the side characters, the Nazi subplot, which we'll talk about. I don't really know if it goes anywhere
no, it's weird.
interesting. The fact that it's set in Buenos Aires kind of makes this film stand out a little bit, but realistically, the only thing that makes this film stand out is Rita Hayworth as Gilda, and that performance is amazing. And that introduction to her, Gilda, are you decent? Hair whip into frame, who me? Unbelievable. The best femme fatale introduction in the history of cinema, in my opinion. And speaking of opinions, it's time for the Times Machine. Shane, Bowlesley Crowther, what do you reckon? Did in 1946, in reviewing this movie, did Bowlesley Crowther enjoy Gilda? What you reckon?
I think he did. I think it's there's an interesting enough plot. First of all, that I think he would have been taken by that, and I also think again, like we said, Rita Hayworth's performance is so charismatic and memorable that that yeah, even if the plot wasn't necessarily something you were grabbed by, I think maybe again, let's be honest, she's a beautiful woman. Maybe she would.
Yes, so for those of you who don't know, this is a new segment on the podcast where I look back at the New York Times' old editions. This one's from March 15th, Friday, March 15th, 1946, and is the New York Times' review of Gilda, written by Bowlesley Crowther, who I have a feeling in the Times Machine is going to by far be the most prominent name. He was a pretty big deal back then. Bowlesley Crowther, I will paraphrase, said as following: "It is quite all right to make a character elusive and enigmatic in a film that can be highly provocative, providing some terminal light is shed. But when one is conceived so vaguely, and with such perplexing lack of motive, point as the Dame, played by Rita Hayworth, and Gilda, the music hall's new film, one may be reasonably forgiven for wondering just what she's meant to prove, for questioning indeed the whole drama in which she is set. And that is what we frankly do. In and out of this moody love story is a drawn and vaporous thread of plot which involves the casino proprietor in some sort of Nazi cartel. The details are so mysterious and so foggily laced through the film that they serve no artistic purpose, other than to confuse things a little more. So, yeah, safe to say Bowlesley didn't like this one either.
I'm sensing a pattern here. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, Bowlesley, not a big fan of Gilda. I think he was in the minority. Bowlesley Crowther definitely had a reputation, my God, reputation for being overly harsh on big box office successes. And yeah, safe to say he didn't like Gilda. So that's the Times Machine. Bowlesley Crowther didn't like it again. Tune in next week to see if Bowlesley Crowther likes anything. So, now that we've got that out of the way, Shane, time for some more in-depth spoilery analysis. So, if at this point in the episode you are undecided as to whether you're going to watch Gilda or not, first of all, leave a like on the video if you're watching on YouTube. And second of all, Shane, what you reckon? Do you think people should go ahead and watch this movie?
Yeah, I think so. It's not nearly one of the greatest noirs I've seen, but I think there's enough in there that you will have a good time for sure. Yeah, interesting story. It does kind of fall apart. It's not the right word, but it does go into some weird directions in the final act, which I'm sure we'll get to. But like I said, Rita Hayworth's performance is really, really good. I think Glenn Ford is kind of bland, if I'm honest. I wasn't fully immersed in his character. But I think it's got a fun villain performance, actually, by George McCready and as Munson, which we'll obviously get to.
Yeah.
I think between those two performances, there's enough, between Rita Hayworth and George McCready, there's enough in there that you won't be bored for the 2 hours runtime, thereabouts.
Yeah, I think Rita Hayworth alone is worth the price of admission. She is exceptional in this movie, and I would also recommend you go and watch it and then come back if you hadn't already seen it. So if you did just do that, welcome back. Shane, Gilda, what's it all about?
So it follows a guy called Johnny who is a gambler, and he goes to a casino in Buenos Aires and wins a lot of money. And then as he's on his way back to his hotel, presumably, he is mugged, or is about to be mugged, but he's helping this guy, this American guy, who says to him, listen, I know this parlour that you should actually go to if you're looking to play some serious cards. So Johnny goes there and again wins some money, and it's implied, certainly it seems that he's figured out some sort of trick to kind of swindle the local, obviously the actual house.
He keeps demanding that he cut the cards before they get dealt. So he's obviously got some sort of shuffle or something where he can put 21 in his hand every single time.
Yeah, exactly. So he wins a bunch of times at 21, unless he doesn't push his luck because he doesn't want to win too much. But he already has, because he's told that the director wants to see him, so he goes to the director's office. And wouldn't you know, it's this guy Munson again, who isn't too happy that he has swindled him this time. But Johnny, quick on his feet that he is, proposed instead that a partnership that he works for Munson. And he's going to obviously be able to kind of spot other people like him, because he's a really good he's a really good card counter. So if he knows the signs to spot, well, it's going to save Munson a lot of money. And Munson, after some deliberation, decides to go along with this plan.
On one condition. Johnny, there's no woman in your life, is there? No. He then meets Gilda. It is very much implied, so heavily implied that Munson himself picks up on this, that Johnny and Gilda know each other from a previous life. This is where we get the Gilda, are you decent scene. Oh my god, that scene is so class, so well shot, so iconic. When you think about old Hollywood, that shot has to make it into some sort, if you're making I was going to say a collage, but that's not how videos work. If you're doing an edit, if you're doing a TikTok edit on old Hollywood, the shot of Gilda, are you decent, has to be in there, in my opinion. It is so fantastic. It captures everything that old Hollywood was, with the stars and just I hate using this word, but God, I feel like I use it every single fucking episode on the podcast. The aura that Rita Hayworth gives off. Such a cringe word these days. It's been ruined by the kids. But the aura she gives off in that scene, who me, so fantastic. And that is basically that is the narrative for the rest of the movie. Is Johnny is working for Munson whilst juggling the fact that he very obviously knows Gilda. Gilda very obviously knows Johnny and doesn't particularly like him.
No.
But they go about it in a way that Munson is trying to figure it out, because he's just married Gilda and he can't seem to get anything out of her. There's a load of little side plots and side characters. None of them were particularly excellent, in my opinion. I did think that it was kind of funny. I realized that 4-letter N-word is not a word that's very YouTube friendly. Don't know if that's gonna put us in a spot of bother. So we're gonna call them the German cartel for the rest of the episode, I think.
Oh yeah.
But there's a particular fella from that German cartel who wins in the casino. He's a very striking looking man. Yeah. Very small, very slender, massive goatee and twirly mustache. Very much not the inconspicuous kind of sneak into a gambling hall, rinse them for all their money and leave kind of look. And yeah, he tries to do the same thing twice, gets rejected the second time, and like pulls a gun and just starts shooting. So like, yeah, that's one thing. The whole German cartel thing doesn't really go anywhere too interesting in my opinion, only to serve as kind of a plot point in the ending, which I'm not a huge fan of. Um, we also have Uncle Pio. Is it
Pio,
Pio?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Uncle Pio, who
He's a
is
fun
like the
character,
bathroom attendant. He is my favorite side character in the film. But
definitely.
again, he doesn't really do an awful lot other than like be an audience for the main characters. That being said, one of Rita Hayworth's musical numbers, he is the only audience member, and that scene is like literally just
Yeah,
electrifying. And then as far as like other side characters go, there's this mustachioed detective who's on everyone's case trying to figure stuff out. Again, you could cut him out of the movie and you wouldn't notice it.
yeah. Detective
He's
Obregon, yeah.
yeah, it doesn't do an awful lot. Performance isn't anything special. He's just another cog in the machine of this movie, I think.
He's a way to.
Realistically,
Sorry to cut across it.
no, go ahead.
I was going to say he's a way to get Johnny to kind of think about maybe a life after working for Munson. So
Yeah,
essentially, like Obregon thinks he has figured out that the German cartel is working with Munson, and he wants Johnny to either cooperate or obviously be taken down with them. So again, it's just a kind of a spanner in the works. It's also a point where because Gilda is quite flirtatious, she's trying to make Johnny jealous throughout the whole film. So she dances with other guys, and there's one moment. Excuse me. There's one moment where they're sitting in a restaurant, and Gilda's essentially trying to make Johnny jealous, and they're talking about kind of the past and stuff like that. But Obregon is sitting in the booth next to them, so he kind of figures out very very quickly again this shared past. But yeah, I agree with you. He's more of a plot device, or he's more of a narrative kind of device than he is like an actual character like that
yeah,
has like desires really or motivations. His only real motivation is he's there as a way for Johnny to kind of as a way to get Johnny like to think about maybe turning on Munson.
yeah. So besides all them, realistically, this film boils down to three characters. It is effectively a love triangle movie.
Yeah.
Johnny, Gilda, and Munson.
Yeah, very much so. And Munson, because he obviously knows that the German cartel might have it out for him, might maybe be thinking about ruining their kind of collaboration. He tells Johnny, listen, if something was to happen to me, he gives him the code to the safe and he says, look for papers with tungsten on there and you'll have everything you need. But yeah, obviously Munson then kind of goes with them and eventually just can't pretend that he doesn't know what's about the shared history, so he does reveal that he actually does know about them. But then they're at a party one night, someone gets murdered, and Johnny brings Gilda home, and there's a whole kind of melee, obviously, and it's looking like Munson's about to kind of go, and he wants basically Gilda to go on the lam with him because, yeah, he is obviously responsible for this. But then he overhears Johnny and Gilda actually kind of flirting, and they kiss and they tell each other how much they hate each other, which obviously is like code for how much they love each other, etc. But yeah, Munson, you just hear the door closing, so obviously Munson's overheard the whole thing, and yeah, he drives off. Johnny pursues him, but then we get to like this airfield and we see a plane crash, and it seems that Munson's sabotaged his own plane because we see him get into a boat and someone collects him from this boat, and so yeah, he's obviously faked his own death because he obviously wants to escape justice. He wants to get out the hell out of Buenos Aires, and obviously, yeah, essentially, if he doesn't exist, obviously, then there's no crime that he has to answer for.
Yeah, I think by far the best scene and that whole love triangle for me, involving the three of them, is when Johnny brings Gilda home one night. He's very much just in charge of Gilda. That's kind of his role, besides running the day-to-day of the casino, is he's to basically look after Gilda. He brings her home after she tried to cheat on Munson with another man who Johnny beat up, and he thinks on his feet. He doesn't want to, because we just don't know what this guy. He's got a knife in his cane, so you just don't know about this guy, like what he's gonna do. So Johnny thinks on his feet and says that they went for a swim. And Gilda was like, "Oh yeah, Johnny taught me how to swim." Munson kind of sends Gilda on her way, and he asks, "Did you teach Gilda how to swim?" And it's a really well shot scene because Munson's effectively like a silhouette, and we pan around the silhouette so that it almost looks like a over the shoulder silhouette. It's a really interesting shot. Probably after Gilda, Are You Decent, the best shot in the film in my opinion, and very cheeky, very it's clear what's implied here. Did you teach Gilda how to swim, Johnny? Johnny's response is, "I taught Gilda everything she knows. Does that satisfy you?" Because I think at that point Johnny clocked that Munson knows. So yeah, that was a great dig back at him, to be fair. But yeah, after Munson faces death to get out of the whole party murder fiasco, we then are left with Johnny, who is the executor of Munson's will, and obviously he's the only person who knows the contents of the safe and the code and everything. And what does he do? Straight away he marries Gilda, and this is where the film,
it's weird after this, straight up weird,
takes a turn. I'm not a huge fan of it.
Yeah.
Not that I'm not a huge fan of the turn, but I felt like there was no. Johnny goes from the main protagonist to the main antagonist in what feels like a Big Show heel turn. It just comes from nowhere. It's just written in just to write it in. It's bizarre. So he marries Gilda, and then for vengeance for her cheating on Munson all those times, or at least implying that she had cheated on Munson all those times. Bear in mind, when they were initially together, Johnny walked out on her. It wasn't the other way around. Normally in these cases it would be the other way around, and then you kind of feel a little bit of sympathy for Johnny. He's getting back at her. But no, he walked out on her. He then traps her in this marriage where he has a guy who we beat up earlier in the film stalk her to make sure that she doesn't cheat on him, whilst he runs the casino and the tungsten operation as well. And he just devolves into a totally different character. Glenn Ford, I do like as an actor. I do not think that this is near his best.
No.
I really don't. He just gives off no indication that this turn is coming, and it's not like it's a massive twist and that it's great. It's a massive twist, and you go, what? Like it doesn't add up. And for the rest of the film, he is the main antagonist. We feel sympathy for Gilda, who's basically locked up. And yeah, as you said, it just gets weird.
Yeah, like she goes to Montevideo, so she is obviously like looking to kind of escape his clutches, and she wants to start divorce proceedings, and she thinks she's met this guy who she's thinks that like she might have a future with. So he goes, okay, yeah, right, but you're not gonna, your ex-husband or your estranged husband isn't gonna want to actually sign the divorce papers. He's gonna have to go there in person and basically like persuade him, and maybe there's a way out. So he goes with her, and wouldn't you know, he works for Johnny all along. And he was basically like on his payroll, and the whole thing was a sham. And yeah, like you really do feel for Gilda in this moment, but it's like you said, it just comes out of nowhere. This whole thing, it's just so weird. It's not even that it's like bad. Like what you're watching is still interesting, I suppose, but it's like you don't really know why there's a point to any of it.
Yeah.
Where's it come from? Why is he doing this exactly? It's so weird. Like, okay, you can have him take over the cartel business, but he doesn't have to like just go complete 180.
Like it's not gradual at all. It's like it is like a scene to scene. Yeah. He's now evil.
Yeah, 100%. So she obviously starts to hit him and like kind of begs him pretty much to let her go and give her a divorce. Obregon, who is still lurking around for some reason, he's pressuring Johnny again for more information, and because obviously Johnny is like basically in charge now, it's even more kind of a threat hanging over his head, where he'll obviously be even more complicit in this whole operation. But yeah, Gilda is like defiant, and again, probably one of the best scenes in the film for sure. She's defiant that she's like, right, well, if he's not going to give me my way, I'm just going to make his life kind of a living hell. So she gets dressed up in this black dress and she goes out onto a stage in the club with obviously like hundreds of people there, and she sings again that song that she had been singing. Obviously, amazing performance, which turns out was not by Rita Hayworth.
Put the blame on me. Fantastic scene.
But yeah, Johnny is like pretty angry and upset, and he starts to hit her. And then Obregon is like, okay, well, we've arrested that weird German-looking guy, and he's like, listen, I need you to.
Oh no, the weird German guy.
He's dead.
Again,
sorry,
not a word that
he's
you
dead.
can use on
Yeah,
YouTube. But after his failed assassination attempt, let's just say
he's-
assassinated himself.
Yeah, so yeah, he
In
a
the
different
toilet.
a different weird German guy. He's been arrested. So he arrests once Johnny is still not giving him the information he wants. He arrests Johnny. So yeah, Uncle Pio is then comforting Gilda. He's like a decent enough character, I suppose. But yeah, Johnny is arrested. But yeah, he's also not arrested because he's not in custody. So he goes to Gilda, and again, out of nowhere, completely turns and like a face turn, a John Cena face turn out of nowhere, where it just came completely out of nowhere. Yeah, he's tells Gilda he loves her and he wants to be with her, and like, let's go run away. And again, completely out of nowhere. No character motivation for it really whatsoever, apart from the fact that he now is actually feeling the heat since he did get arrested. But it's why is Gilda? Sorry, why would Gilda even give in? Like, come on, he's literally hit her. He's made her life a living hell.
Twice now that he's a bastard. Twice.
Yeah, exactly. It's like he's had her followed and stalked, and like watched, and she had no privacy.
He physically hit her.
Physically attacked her. He's kept her in this marriage that like she's been wanting out of from months.
He also previously walked out on her.
Yeah, it's like, what possible reason would she have at this point to get back with him? It makes no sense.
Yeah. And then, would you believe it, whenever he has this big confession that he actually does love her, who's that coming down the stairs? Oh my, Munson is back from the dead, even though he obviously wasn't dead. We do know this, but the characters in the film don't know this. He comes down with his cane, which we know has a knife in it. He gives a admittedly kind of forgettable bad guy monologue. Yeah. I didn't even take any of it down. I don't remember any of it. No. When, in fairness to him, somehow, in one frame, Uncle Pio manages to disarm and then stab Munson in the back with his big knife cane. Don't know how he did it. Like, it was in his hand, and then it was in his back. So, Uncle Pio, secret alien superhero. Don't know how he managed that, but yeah, Uncle Pio saves the day, and then they go off and live happily ever after. Although I'm assuming they don't. I'm assuming they go off and live happily ever after, but then in real life, in like 6 months' time, Johnny has another one of his breaks and decides to like lock her in a room or something. Like, he's just a madman. He's an absolute madman.
No telling what he's going to do. It's a weird character, like, because again, like, I know you said Gilda is a femme fatale. She is for, I suppose, a lot of film, because like the film
until
like you
the
said,
switch
until the switch, and then she's definitely not. Like, she's very much the protagonist. That's why, like, she is the best thing this film has going for us, that she's not your typical femme fatale. Like, there are rough edges to her, but she very much is like a very sympathetic character, and especially by the end, like, she's again trapped in this emotionally and physically abusive relationship. But yeah, again, it's like, why would you then have her? Like, obviously that wouldn't happen now. Like, there's no way they will actually have in today's day and age, they wouldn't have her go back to the guy. But even then, I don't understand. Even, like, come on, yeah, it was a different time, but surely it's not so much of a different time that a woman would just go back to a guy who's physically and emotionally abused her for months on end. Come on, man.
Mental.
Crazy.
So Shane, what do you reckon? Is it any use?
Yeah, look, I've gone on a bit of a rant there the last few minutes. Like, it's still a good film. Like, it's still a watchable film. Very much carried by Rita Hayworth. She's like,
so much.
Yeah, like, it's
so
crazy.
Much.
She carries this film on her back, and yeah, like, it doesn't work without her at all, the film. So yeah, she, for that reason alone, she's very much worth, like you said, the price of admission. And yeah, like I gave it 3 stars. Definitely not what I was expecting. I was expecting probably to go even higher based on, like, I know it's got a
Yeah,
pretty
same.
good reputation. Like I said, I just couldn't get past those third act craziness. That my mind was baffled. I was just completely baffled. I still am about, like, a lot of it just did not make sense to me, on either on a narrative level or on a character based level, like character motivation level. Narratively, it is a bit all over the place anyway, especially in the third act. But then it's like, also, why is Gilda doing this stuff? Why is Johnny doing this stuff? Makes no sense to me. Anyway, yeah, it's still a decent film, and yeah, I'd recommend it.
Yeah, I agree. I also gave it 3 stars. I was expecting to come into this and be blown away, just given the reputation.
Yeah.
That being said, Rita Hayworth is insane in this movie. She is so good. Instant suggestion for best leading actress of the year. Nothing else in the movie comes close to her performance. I think some of the direction from Charles Vidor is good, but again, didn't really blow me away. Glenn Ford definitely didn't blow me away. All the side plots didn't blow me away. But Rita Hayworth is so good in this. She is amazing. Not in any way similar movies, but an instance that I can kind of remember something similar-ish is, was it last year, the year before, that film Rustin with Coleman Domingo?
Yeah, I've actually
And
not
like,
seen it, but yeah, it's a couple of years ago.
the only thing that film has is Coleman Domingo's performance, and he is amazing in it. But like, there's no the rest of the film is fine. At points it's bad, and at points it's good. It levels out at like an average film, but with an exceptional performance in there.
He was
And
Oscar
this is
nominated
the same.
for that. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I think he was. Yeah, also plays the titular character.
Yeah.
But yeah, Rita Hayworth is so good in this that I absolutely would recommend this just to see her performance alone. You may also love this movie. People do love this movie, trust me. But I'm just not one of those people. I love film noir, but this wouldn't be my favorite film noir at all. Wouldn't crack my top 20. It is a good film, but when I say good, like 70% of that good is the exceptional performance from Rita Hayworth.
Yeah, it's very much like anything good in the film is literally because of her. Like, take her out or have even a slightly weaker lead performance, and it's, I think a lot of the issues would also then, like, be far less forgivable, because yeah, she just really does carry the film on her back.
Well, we have a bit of time in this episode, so Shane, I have an idea for maybe an occasional segment on the podcast. Listeners, you're just going to be forced to play along. Viewers, you have an opportunity to choose whether to play along or not. We'll take it in turns. I'll go first. I'm going to show on Letterboxd a film to the camera. If you're watching at home, you can have a look or not. Obviously, if you're listening, you can't see what's on the camera. Shane, you will then have 20 yes or no questions to guess the film. Is 20 too many questions, actually? I'll say 15. I reckon 15 questions.
Okay.
So Shane, please look away from the camera, and I'm going to put it down the lens. There we go. That is the film poster there. Shane, you have 15 questions, yes or no only questions, to decipher what film I've just shown the lovely, lovely people at home.
Is this a film we've covered on the podcast before?
Yes, I think we make it 10 questions.
Okay. Is this a film we've covered this year in 2025 on the podcast?
This is not a film that we have covered this year.
Right. Is this an Alfred Hitchcock film?
This is not an Alfred Hitchcock film, which really does like kick like 3 months of last year out.
Exactly. It actually does eliminate a lot of films for me. Although I suppose it would have been easier, but still. Let me see. Is this a film we covered last year's Noirvember?
Well, Shane is going to get it now. Yes, this is a film that we covered in last year's Noirvember.
Is this still to date the largest viewed, the best viewed episode of the podcast we've had?
It most certainly is.
Yeah, Laura.
Yes, correct. God, do we make it 5 questions? No, I think 7. 7 questions.
7. Okay, yeah. We go with
Okay.
Molly.
Yeah. Right, you show into the camera now,
Oh, okay, right.
and then we'll do. If we're doing 7 questions, I reckon we can get 3 rounds out of this.
Right, okay.
And then someone at home, if you want to, can maybe make some sort of a scoreboard out of this.
You want to show it now?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, in fitting, is this a film that we have covered on the Golden Hour Film Podcast?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So we're sticking with 7 questions. Is this a film that came out in the 1940s?
No, it is not.
Okay. Is this a film that we have covered in the last 6 months?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Ultimately, realistically, that does kind of narrow it down to 2 decades, because we've covered very few 30s or 70s films this year. That being said, it's not impossible. Is this a film that is likely to get nominated for either Best Actor or Actress at the Golden Hour Film Podcast Awards?
I would say no.
Okay. Is Sean Connery in this movie?
He is not. 2 questions left.
Yeah. Is there a singing bin man in this movie?
No. As far as I'm like 99.9% sure now.
There's no singing bin man, okay.
6.
That eliminates 1 film. 6 months ago.
What film was that, by the way?
Ocean's 11.
Ah, yes. Sammy Davis Jr. Yeah.
Okay, so I just have to hit and hope. I'm going to say a film that isn't going to get Best Actor or Actress. So, going back through the months. So, Heist Month, Bonnie and Clyde, definitely. It's not Ocean's 11. Italian Job, you could maybe make an argument for Michael Caine. Asphalt Jungle is a potential candidate. Obviously, Bond Month out the window. Doctor Strangelove surely out the window with Peter Sellers. Path to Glory, realistically, probably possible Best Actor. I'm going to say The Asphalt Jungle.
The film was Godzilla.
Ah, Jesus. I forgot that we literally did October.
Yeah.
I forgot last month.
Do you know what?
Skipped it.
That's because of when we're recording this, probably.
Yeah. I literally skipped last month. That's so embarrassing.
Yeah.
Right. Round 2. It's 1-0 Shane for those of you trying to keep a score. Right. I'm going to show it to the camera now.
Okay.
Have a guess? Or 7?
Okay. Is this a film we've covered on the podcast?
It is.
Is this a film that we've covered in 2025?
It is not.
Right. Is this a film that won an award at the Golden Hour Film Podcast Awards last year?
This film did not win any awards at the Golden Hour Film Podcast Awards.
That's interesting. Is this film a foreign language film, a non-English language film?
This film is not in the English language.
Okay, that narrows it down. What did we cover last year? Right, so obviously rules out a fair bunch of international films from this year. As far as right, okay. I have an idea. Was this film directed by Ingmar Bergman?
No. Two guesses left.
Well, what did we cover last year? Is this film... So do I get two guesses? Two questions and then a guess, or one question and then a guess?
Nah, one question and a guess.
Right, okay, yeah. Is this film an Irish film?
Fuck. It is.
I believe it is Puccin.
It is Puccin. Yes. Okay.
Got
Fair
that
enough.
out of the bag, yeah. Got that out of the bag.
Damn it.
I was obviously thinking about oh god, I can't even think of the name of it now. What's that Bergman film we covered last year?
Seventh Seal.
Yeah, 17, I don't know.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Okay, right, I'll go again. Right. I'm about to go. Hopefully that comes across on screen. There might be a bit of a glare, but anyway, I think the poster's distinctive enough. Okay. Right.
Right. Obvious question. First, is this a film that we've covered on the podcast?
Yes.
Is this a film that came out before 1960?
Yes.
Okay. Is this a film noir?
Yes.
Did we cover this film last year?
No.
Okay, realistically, films noir that we've covered this year, In a Lonely Place was 1950. Asphalt Jungle's in 1950 as well. Stranger on the Third Floor, 1940. Am I forgetting any films noir that we've covered? Did this film come out in the 50s?
Yes, it did. That's 5.
I'm locking in a Lonely Place.
Correct.
Ah, thank God.
Yeah.
Point on the board. Needed to be done. Thank God.
Have Bogey's big face, so in case it didn't come across on screen, you should at least hopefully recognise his big face.
Right. Last round of the episode. Right. Shane, I'm going to show it to the camera. Obviously, if you were listening at home, you are just going to be forced to guess what the movie is yourselves. Have at it, Shane.
Okay. Is this a film we've covered on the podcast?
It is not.
You've done me dirty there. Okay. Is this a film made pre 1960?
It is.
Right. Is this a film made post 1945?
It is not.
Right, okay. So it's pre 1945. And we haven't covered it. Have we covered this director on the podcast before?
We have.
Right.
Famous director.
Okay.
That being said, we've covered a lot of famous directors.
That's true. Is this director's name Alfred Hitchcock?
It is.
Okay, right. Okay. Right.
You're down to 2 questions.
Pre 1945. And we haven't covered it. So it's obviously from the 30s or...
So that eliminates a
Yeah.
lot, considering we covered 40s Hitchcock.
Yeah. Is this a silent film?
It is not. That's a great question, because that eliminates another chunk of his filmography. So you've one guess now.
I'd have to guess the film.
Yeah.
I'm torn between 2. Actually, I'm torn between 3. I'm going to guess... should have gone the
What
genre,
are the 2 you're
actually.
torn between?
I'm torn between The Lady Vanishes, but I don't think it's that because you haven't seen that. So I'm actually now torn between Young and Innocent or 39 Steps.
Okay.
Have you seen 39 Steps, actually?
I have indeed, yep.
Yeah, okay, right. So that's sneaky little extra question in there. Okay. I'm going to guess. See, it could be. I don't think it's Blackmail because Blackmail has a silent version as well. So I'm going to guess Young and Innocent.
This film was the original The Man Who Knew Too Much.
That's good. That's good.
Peter Lorre.
To be fair, I didn't
Golden
think
Hour Film Podcast royalty.
That's fair. Right.
Heading into the last game of the last round, this is to make it 2-1 in a league table that I'm sure everyone is going to take incredibly seriously for the rest of podcast history.
So I'm going to about to reveal it.
Yep.
Right. Okay. Go ahead.
Actually, my shot is a bit dark. Let me try it. I think there's no salvaging that at this point. It's just going to be dark. Is this a film that we have covered on the podcast?
No.
Saw that coming. Okay. Is this a film No. Is this a film post 1950?
Yes.
Okay. Is this a film that both of us have seen?
Yeah. Well, I know I've seen it. I'm 99% sure you've seen it. Yes, you have seen it. Yep.
Is this a film from a director we've covered on the podcast? I like that question.
No.
Okay. Is this a film that we would realistically cover on the Golden Hour Film Podcast?
Yeah, I think there's a good chance we cover this film.
Interesting. Okay, and we haven't covered the director. Is this a foreign language film?
No, that's 6. So.
Right, yeah.
Do you know what? I'll give you one more question, just of the generosity of my heart. So I'll give you one more question.
Okay. So what big directors have we not covered that are American or English? That we've both seen, though. No, okay. Because I was thinking Michael Pell. But I haven't seen Black Narcissus, and I don't think that you've seen Peepin' Tom. Other big directors who we haven't covered on the podcast. Or am I pigeonholing myself by looking at big directors? Is this an obscure film? Is this film a horror movie?
Yeah, I would say it can be classed as a horror movie, yeah.
Interesting.
Now you have to guess.
So, from the 50s, my mind goes straight to Plan 9 from Outer Space from Ed Wood Jr., but I don't know if you've seen that. Other 50s horror films from America.
I will say, just in case there's any confusion, it could also be classed as other genres, but like horror is one of them. Mm-hmm. I would say.
Yeah. I don't think you've seen The Creature from the Black Lagoon, and I know we haven't covered Jack Arnold on the podcast. Again, like the 50s Phantom of the Opera, neither of us have seen, I don't think. I don't think you've seen Invasion of the Body Snatchers from Don Siegel, who's a director we haven't covered on the podcast. Maybe you have seen Peeping Tom. I'm going to lock in Peeping Tom.
The
on
answer.
The basis that you may have seen it.
The answer is The Night of the Hunter.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Charles Lawton.
Yep. And I haven't seen
Valid.
Peeping Tom for FW.
You haven't?
No, I haven't.
Okay. You should definitely watch it. It's amazing.
Yeah, I should get around to it. So I think, did I win that 2-1? I got
I think I finished
Puccini.
1-1.
No, I got Puccini.
Oh,
I
you got
first one.
Puccini. You
Yeah,
got
I got
Puccini.
Puccini.
You did.
Yeah.
You did win 2-1. Okay. As it stands in the incredibly serious league table that I'm sure everyone's going to take real serious for the rest of the podcast. As it stands, all-time score, it is Shane 2, me 1.
There we go.
And thank you very much, everybody. That was the Golden Hour Film Podcast episode where we covered Gilda. Next week, next Tuesday, we will see you next Tuesday. We are covering a film that you're going to have to figure out for yourself. Go look at the big board on our Instagram and try and decipher what movie we are covering next on Noirvember. 3 episodes in we will be, and yet it'll only be the second week. A huge month on the podcast. But yeah, thank you very much. I've been Harry Bailey.
I've been Shane Levany.
And we will see you next Tuesday for Noirvember. Goodbye.